Have you ever caught yourself scrolling through your feeds late at night, seeing someone post about their side hustle hitting 5 grand in a month, and felt that quiet pang? Like, good for them, but that'll never be me. I'm just grinding to cover rent and groceries, maybe squeeze in a weekend without dipping into savings. It's that subtle mix of envy and resignation, right? The one that creeps in when you're tired from the day, wondering if your efforts will ever add up to more than just getting by. But what if, in this year, 2026, with all its ups and downs, in the economy, remote work shifts, and AI changing jobs, that first $5,000 month isn't as out of reach as it feels? And more importantly, what if crossing that line flips something inside you, making everything after feel different? Not in some overnight fairy tale way, but in a real, grounded shift that builds momentum you didn't see coming. I get it, because I've been there. A couple years ago, before things started clicking, I'd stare at my income statements and think, this is fine, it's stable. But deep down, there was this undercurrent of limitation. Most of us grow up hearing that big money comes from rare talents or connections, doctors, lawyers, or those viral entrepreneurs who seem to have it all figured out. We misunderstand the journey, picturing it as this steep cliff you either scale with superhuman effort or never touch. Society feeds into that. Headlines about billionaires starting in garages, or ads pushing courses on scaling to 6 figures fast. It makes the idea of a $5,000 month feel elite, reserved for the hustlers who never sleep, or the lucky ones with a head start. And when life throws in work stress, family needs, or just the rising cost of everything, from fuel to streaming, fees, it's easy to normalize the struggle. I'm doing okay, we tell ourselves. But that okay often means trading time for just enough, without much left for breathing room. No one's at fault here. It's how we're wired, chasing security in the familiar, while undervaluing the small pivots that lead to more. But reframing it, that first $5,000 isn't about becoming someone else. It's about unlocking a door that's been there all along, where psychology and practical steps meet to create real change without the burnout. Let me take you through starting with a story that hits close to home. Think about Jamie, a graphic designer I know in her early 30s, right here in the midst of 2026's gig economy boom. She's got a full-time remote job paying around $3,500 a month after taxes. Decent, covers the apartment, car note, and helping her folks with a bit extra. But there's always that worry. What if freelance dries up, or inflation keeps nibbling at her edges? She started experimenting last year, picking up side clients on platforms that match skills with needs, nothing fancy. At first it was $500 here, $800 there, enough for a nicer dinner or padding the emergency fund. Then one month it all aligned. A repeat client, a referral, and a small upskill in AI tools that let her charge more. Boom, $5,200 cleared. It wasn't a lottery win. It was steady effort meeting opportunity. But psychologically, that's where the shift begins. Studies in behavioral economics show that hitting income milestones like this triggers a dopamine response, not just from the money, but from the proof that your value can expand. It's like breaking through a mental barrier. We often undervalue our skills because imposter syndrome whispers we're maxed out. Now, zoom out to why this $5,000 mark feels like a turning point in 2026 specifically. With remote work normalized and tools like no-code apps or freelance marketplaces more accessible than ever, more people are piecing together multiple streams without quitting their day job. But it's not just logistics, it's the math of momentum. Say you're at $3,000 now. Hitting $5,000 means you've added about 67% more, which sounds big, but break it down. Maybe that's 2 extra clients at $1,000 each, or negotiating a raise plus a side gig. Once you do it once, replication becomes easier because you've built the systems. Your network grows, your confidence in pricing rises. I remember talking to a buddy, Mark, who's in sales. He hit his first $5K month after shifting to commission-based work amid the post-pandemic recovery. Before that, he was capped at salary limits, always anxious about quotas. After, he started seeing patterns. Relationships compound like interest. If you invest time in one good client, it leads to referrals, turning that $5K into a baseline. Behavioral psych calls this the endowment effect. Once you own that higher income level, you protect and grow it more fiercely. And let's make it even more relatable with someone juggling family, like Elena, a mom in her late 30s teaching online courses. In 2026, with education tech exploding, she turned her expertise into a side income. Her first 5K month came from a mix of live sessions and pre-recorded content, nothing overnight, but consistent value. The emotional side? Before, family pressure meant every dollar was spoken for. Kids' activities, unexpected medical bills, that constant time anxiety of, am I present enough? Hitting 5K eased that knot. Suddenly there's buffer for a family outing without guilt. Psychology here ties into scarcity mindset. When income's tight, we make short-term choices, like skipping skill building for quick cash. But crossing 5K flips it. Research from places like the Behavioral Insights team shows abundance thinking kicks in, where you plan longer term, like investing in tools that save time. Simple math. If that extra 2K monthly compounds at even 5% in a basic savings account over 5 years, it's over 130K growth. But more importantly, it's peace from knowing you're not one setback away from stress. Diving deeper, consider how this plays out in everyday decisions. We often think income plateaus are permanent, but 2026's landscape, with AI automating routine tasks, opens doors for upskilling without massive time sinks. Take Alex, an IT guy who pivoted to consulting. His first 5K month wasn't from working harder. It was from specializing in cybersecurity, a hot need right now. The deep explanation lies in leverage. Once you hit that mark, you realize your time has higher value. Psychologically, it's empowering. Studies on self-efficacy show that one success builds belief in more, and the numbers aren't abstract. If you're freelancing, that 5K might come from 20 hours at 250 hours instead of 40 at 125 hours. It's sustainable, reducing burnout. But we miss this because our brains default to loss aversion, fearing change more than stagnation. Real talk. A year like this, with economic uncertainty from global shifts, that first breakthrough reminds you agency exists amid the noise. This all builds to that pivotal realization, the turning point where everything subtly shifts. It's not chasing the 5K low as a magic number. It's understanding that once you hit it, money becomes less about survival and more about choices that align with what matters. You start viewing opportunities differently. Instead of, can I afford this? It's, does this build toward more freedom? That mindset change rewires decisions. No more impulse spends from stress. Instead, you channel that extra into things like a course that boosts skills or time off to recharge. Psychologically, it's tied to intrinsic motivation. Once external pressures ease, you pursue growth for its own sake. Connecting to peace of mind, imagine saying no to a draining project because you know another 5K a month is replicable, or carving out family time without the mental math of bills. For me, it was like lifting a fog. Growing up, money was this tense undercurrent at home, not poverty, but always caution. Hitting that mark showed me wealth isn't a trophy. It's a quiet enabler of calm. In 2026, with tools democratizing access, this realization grounds you. Ordinary steps compound into something freeing, reducing anxiety by proving you're capable of more. So, how does this play out in your life, realistically? Let's think through it without extremes. No quit your job tomorrow vibes. Start by auditing where you are. Look at your skills and what the market needs right now, like content creation or virtual assistants, things that fit around your schedule. Maybe it's freelancing on platforms that match you with gigs, starting with one small project to test waters. Automate the basics. Set up a separate account for that extra income so it feels tangible. If 5K seems distant, aim for milestones. Add $500 this month by negotiating better rates or learning a quick tool via free resources. Build habits like tracking wins weekly, not to obsess, but to see patterns. And lean on psychology. Pair it with something enjoyable, like rewarding a good week with a walk, not a splurge. I've seen friends do this. A couple in sales bumped their combined income by specializing, starting with just evenings. Life interrupts, job shifts, family stuff, so keep a buffer, maybe 3 months basics, to weather dips. The key? Tie it to your why. Less time anxiety, more family ease. Scale gently. As confidence grows, so does the flow. For you, facing those real pressures, like family expectations or that sense of time speeding up in your 30s or 40s. Begin with one reflection. What's one skill you undervalue that could add value? Maybe cut a low-return habit, like endless scrolling, and redirect to building. If full 5K feels off, proportional works, 3K first, then build. Over time, as networks expand or tools evolve, it compounds. Remember, this isn't denying today's joys, it's balancing them with tomorrow's calm. Friends who've crossed it say the same. It started small, but snowballed into security during tough spots.